नो रियल इंडिया के मेरे सभी साथियों और फॉलोअर्स को मैं सिद्धार्था वाले चरला के ओर से जय भीम नमो बुद्धाय। To all my friends and followers of No Real India account, my sincere जय भीम and नमो बुद्धाय। आज के इस वीडियो में हम सिद्धार्था घर छोड़ के प्रवज्रक क्यों बना ये देखेंगे। In this video, we will look at the reasons and circumstances that prompt Siddhartha to leave home and go become a pravajrak. A pravajrak means a wandering ascetic. The two main reasons quoted in relation with Siddhartha leaving home and becoming a wandering monk are: one, for the first time in his life, he sees an old man, a sick man, a poor man, and a dead man. And the other one being, he was so indulged in carnal pleasures that he got vexed of them and he got disgusted and he went in search of truth. In my prior two videos, I clearly stated how neither of those two reasons are true. There is not an ounce of truth in either of them. From an early age, Siddhartha was of kindly disposition. He was able to observe and understand suffering around him, and he wanted to seek a solution for that. We can see this in a few different ways. I'll just use like about 3 or 4 examples here. The first one I had shared in a prior video was that when he would go to his father's farm and see Shudras of the low caste workers from the Shudra caste working, he would question as to how is it okay, how is it acceptable that some people should rule and some should serve, and those who serve have no means to get out of their servitude. We all also know about the story of his cousin Devadatta shooting down a dove, and then him winning the argument that the dove does not belong to the one who tried to kill it, but the dove belongs to the one who is actually saves it, because Buddha Siddhartha takes care of the dove and nurses it back to health. So there is another example. And then another example is that Siddhartha showed signs of meditation and mindfulness early on from his childhood. He would in fact instruct and urge his friends, other young friends of his, to follow through with meditation, to concentrate their mind on good thoughts of being good, doing good, for the world, but they just laugh him off and they go away. So Siddhartha's inclination towards becoming a pravajrak, seeking truth, seeking a solution for worldly suffering, is pretty well in his life throughout. But there is still one instance because of which he actually does leave home. This is a very, very social situation where he's just being a very socially minded, conscientious member of the clan. He's from the Sakya clan, and there is a Koila clan, which is just their neighbors, and they always fight over the river water. There is an instance when he's around 29 that, due to the water dispute, the commander-in-chief of the Sakya clan, to which Siddhartha belongs, wants to wage war on Koilas and wants to destroy them for once and all, or put that issue to bed, not destroy Koilas, but put that issue to rest by defeating them. And Siddhartha obstructs to it, and he says that Koilas are also our relatives. We are kind of interconnected. They are not others. And even if they were others, we need to see the actual issue and try to resolve it in a diplomatic manner, by talking, by even bringing in mediators from external, not these two parties, but from an external group, and have a sit-down talk. And when his suggestion is overruled and Koil and Sakya clan in that Sangha decides to go to war, is when Siddhartha tells that he is not going to take part in such a war. And when somebody is brought into the Sangha, they do give their allegiance to the Sangha. So that's when the Sainapati asks, well, if you don't do this, we either have to kill you, or kill you, or you have to be banished from the kingdom, you and your family. But the Senapati was also afraid that the king under which this clan's land comes in was very favorable towards Buddha, Siddhartha, and his family. So the Senapati was kind of in a turmoil as to how can he even enforce such a punishment on Siddhartha. To which Siddhartha solves the solution by saying that you don't have to banish me, and also if I will agree to become a Pravajrak on my own, what I ask you in return is to not banish my family because they have no reason to be. It's not their fault that um, it's not their fault with what I'm doing, and also take some time and hopefully think about it. And the Senapati, the commander, agrees that this might be a better solution because imposing any of the punishments that he has come up with that are standard punishments would be frowned upon by the king of I think it's Kosala, king of Kosala, and the commander would not be in good graces of that king. And also Siddhartha then also realizes that this is a good chance for him to go off and actually spend time alone, wandering, to complete his thoughts and meditation and find the path that can end suffering. So it is much more of a social reason and a personal reason that Siddhartha leaves home and goes off on to become a wandering ascetic and tries to find the truth. And most of these other things are just injunctions, and those injunctions have come in um, because preventing such an occurrence of Buddha in future eras was very important for the Brahmins once they regained control after Buddhism was run out of the country. Because Brahmins were the ones who were thoroughly destroyed and had a lot to lose when Buddhism became popular. They couldn't sit anymore and just dictate the terms of how a yagna should be done, the fire penance should be done, and how many animals were to be sacrificed, and what choice kind of meats they would get. So, in some way, this doctrine of Buddha broke through the hierarchy, the social hierarchy of Varnashrama Dharmam, where everything was decided based on someone's birth. There is no other way, there is nothing you can do to shift in between. But Buddhism its uh, opened the world for many people. Nobody had to be stuck in their hereditary roles. So Brahmins had a huge loss when that happened. So, in order to prevent any such occurrences of social revolution, they ascribed all these unnatural, unlikely things around Siddhartha, um, because and of course there is no proof to say that there would have been another Siddhartha. But what I'm going with is Siddhartha's own words, Buddha's own words, saying that when he became the Tathagata, he said that I am not the first one. There have been many before me, and there will be many after me. So Brahmins had to curb this re-coming of Buddhas forever and ever to secure their place. That's the reason Buddhism has been kind of interpolated with a lot of mystical things, a lot of nonsensical things, a lot of things that don't align with Buddha's teachings of truth, reason, experience, inference. Um, uh, yeah, anything you see which is irrational and not scientific in Buddhism is all injected by Brahmins to keep the masses from ever realizing their full potential, because in each of us is that potential to become or to achieve Buddhahood, even if we don't become Buddha ourselves, but we each have in our own life the capacity to attain Buddhahood. So that in brief is the history of Buddha Siddhartha leaving home and becoming a Pravajrak. Hopefully this helped. I'm sure these topics that I'm broaching bring up a lot of questions for you. You can always reach out to me. And also, of course, you can directly read the book, The Buddha and His Dhamma, because that's where that is my source. Thanks for listening, and Jai Bhim, Namo Buddhaya.